Hey YouTubers, so it's your girl Kelly. I'm a big girl, I'm a black woman, and I live in my car. I'm happy to say I am at the plus 45 day marker. I am very happy to share my stealth camping experiences and not so stealthy ones with you, and trying to get a taste for Americana. I like to cook with a cast iron pan. I like to cook over wood, coals. I am in the process of trying really hard to make the adjustment and consider the comfort level for me and my fur buddy, which I will glean down to let you see, is right here. Oh no, there you are. Did you wake up, baby? Yeah, I'm Maxie. Oh, you're just so good. Oh, sleep. You're tired. You're tired. Yeah, you're tired. You can sleep. Go sleep. Now, I'm going to continue. So, yeah, sorry about the accent. And I get a look at myself, I actually do want to talk Southern, more Southern than I need to. So, I'm college educated, worked in IT, not retired at all. I work in day trading short sale, and I'm trying to get into some other trades of commodities and investments, but cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. What? You know, everybody's looking for the dollar. And I do scan. I scan left to look at my coin jar. I look at it. But you ain't gotta look at my coin jar. That's high. That is a daily battle. What did Pat Benatar say? Love is the battlefield, but a corn jar needs to be quickly elevated. I bless this door. I bless this door. I bless this door in the name of Jesus and the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Bow my head. Amen. For He is holy and I am not. I'm not that religious, but what I've learned is what I've learned, and I like to share the journey in a kind of, zhuzhing it up kind of way. So you're gonna hate me or you're gonna love me, and that's just the way life is. I don't pull any punches. But I do try to give respect where respect is due. But I'll have to fully explain things because it might sound like I'm insulting you before you actually realize what respect is, because you might want to do something for me out of pride, and I'm just like thrilled about it, but I'm also not homeless. So even when you're homeless, I've learned that homeless people want certain foods. And when people want help, they want it a certain way. Okay? It's not you. It's just that you didn't know they had more, and they can't let go of the idea of what they had, even though they're now in a new situation. So until I came to understand, hey, I'm homeless in my car. I don't need 30 boxes of silverware, glassware. I don't need a Viking hat. I have a fishing rod, and I went shopping for a fishing rod, tackle, and bait when I went to get my license at the store, and they were like, oh, that's going to be this much, and I was like, oh, that sounds so much. And then I was seeing another group of fishermen on YouTube, which I'm going to leave in the link too, and oh, they're so much fun. They're at Lake Mead and I think they're in Tennessee. So they are a fun group. So they're watching the water level go down, and unfortunately they found 3 bodies already. So, you know, there's always that moment when stuff like splashes up on you, and you're just like, oh, that's great, it's fine, you know. I'm okay. And then like later you're just like, oh, his eye was on me. His eye was on me. It's the polite spit. There's nothing you can do about it. You wanna, but you can't. Because you want to be like, and you're just like, rest in peace. And you look away because you're like, nothing you can do, right? You know, but don't overthink of it. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink of it, and don't overthink it. So, what made me want to do this? 2020 happened, and before COVID, I knew I wanted to sell my house. I'd done some renovations. I had gotten a small inheritance, which anybody who loves God would be like, oh, you know. And I closed out that chapter of my life. My parents had passed away, you know, consecutively, 2 and 3 years, earlier. I mean, I guess 4 and 2 years earlier. So I was closing out the estate. I wanted to stay in my home till that was done. And Yahoo, that got completed, a couple of years ago. And so I was able to try to invest in my home, do some renovations, pay off a little bit of debt, and clear my mind, because I was going to a lot after my mom died, and I don't think you actually are ever prepared. Like, you think, if I read up on it, if I see what happens with homeless people, they're living in their parents' house and they're like, my mom died, my dad died, and they're like, okay, you never know how the shock of it is just going to be like. It reverberates around like, I'm going to do nothing, or my parents would have wanted me to go on and do something, and I found myself exhausted. I'm not going to lie. I was exhausted before my mom passed away, and I was starting to get my energy and my juice up, and then boom, I sort of fell very quickly into, I'm taking a 3 o'clock nap. And now, it's 7, and I had to work it out, because after the renovations, I was like, let me do this for myself, I had an Airbnb, and actually it was crazy. The whole time it was just crazy, because I was bumping up against both anniversaries of my parents' death, and I was getting sick, and I couldn't find, enough time to figure out what I wanted to do. So I said, here I am in this house, I've got mode zones. I got mow zones, right? I have a mow zone. I have a frontal zone, a middle zone, a back zone. I have a pre-raking mow schedule because mowing's never easy. And you have to move stuff. When it rains and that stick gets in the way and your mower is just like, I'm not going anywhere. Move the stick out. And you're just like, But yeah, I found that raking is the precursor to mowing. I found out that raking allows your mulch to last a little bit longer because you can rake it back into place. I found pulling weeds is also a precursor to raking and putting the mulch back in place. I found that pruning is helpful because there are some trees that you want to rebloom. They can give you several blooms, and I think I might be able to turn the camera around so that you can see one of the blooms that was in my front yard. If not, I can include it in one of the other videos. And it is such a beautiful tree. But if you do, and you don't have to do much, but if you just do, I would say I did maybe 1-2 cuts, and the rest of the tree was like, hello, I'm back, and it lasts into the fall quite nicely. So I just did 1 or 2 cuts, 3 cuts, and that's only on the low hanging, and then a little bit in the mid. So as long as it's doing this and it's hanging up, and it's got the supporters, I'm fine. And then I just cut the extra, and I don't do all the cutting because I want to do 3 sets of cuts. So I'll just cut a little, like maybe get the front side and then the back side, and kind of have to deal with going around it with the mow. So just a little bit at a time, and it tends to do very well. So, and it's a very hardy bush, so I would suggest you maybe even planting some of the cuttings or grafting them into an existing bush if you feel like that bush needs a little bit of help or something like that. It's but definitely plant it, see if it gets the little strings, and then plant it other places in the yard because it makes for such a beautiful glow. And so when I gave up the house, I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss that tree. We had our moments. It was hitting me in the head and the eye when I mowed, and then I learned pruning to because you see, that's what I mean. Like, it's gonna grow out, so you're gonna see that happen with the rains, and then mowing the lawn, you learn a relationship with your grass and seeing how that looks, and seeing what's going on. So you learn to see what's happening, and then trimming any type of other garden shrubs, and it makes you appreciate the work of landscaping in the first place, because I felt like my yard was simple. I'm a simple girl, redneck, kind of, beer mug, crabs. I'm not dating you, but I'm just saying, and I'm not dating myself, I'm saying I just like to keep it simple and not extremely, big. And I have on my hat, my gloves, I'm all covered because bumblebees love me. Right now, I guess I just look like a big yellow target to them, and they're just like, ooh, look at the nectar. I'm like, stop it. But that's nature, right? Sometimes you listen to you, and sometimes you end up being too close to nature, and nature rushes you. I had 3 bumblebees up my nose one time after I realized they were sleeping in one of my bushes. And they were like, who is she to wake us up? I was like, ah! You know, and I always keep all my doors open on my house. Because you never know who's living where outside, right? So you got to keep the water on. You got to, just in case, and you got to keep every door open, just in case. So I get to the screen door, and they were like, excuse me, you came in our territory. And I was like, you're right, I did, and I'm so sorry. Take your friends. So I'm deboogering bumblebee butts out of me. And unfortunately, I think one of them, well, he succumbed because I got bitten. And my nose was swelling up, and I was like, you know what? This is such a time in my life. I don't want, like, it's COVID time. I don't want to go to the doctor. So I was like, maybe I'll be finding out, right? I give you a good 1-minute warning here. Okay, and then I was like, oh, nothing's happening. Does your throat feel kind of, and I was like, oh, no, I'm good. And yeah, it didn't swell. My nose didn't swell up that badly, so that was good. And then I just went ahead and took a nap, which is the worst thing to do, but it had been traumatic for me. You know, so it's like, if I wake up, I wake up. If not, you know, I had this peaceful sleep, you know, and I woke up and I was like, my nose, okay, well, yeah, it's still a little sore, but it's okay. My little friend probably outside dying, you know, trying to protect this hive. Bye, Walter. Do you don't name? No. The animals that attack you and you survive. Okay, well, I guess you have a better relationship with nature than I do. No offense, anyone named Walter. And that was it. I had a full life in the house, but it was difficult. So I had one of those moments where I had the epiphany that I went out of the market too soon. So I had 3 buckets. I went out of the market too soon, and I lost a whole bunch of money from the inheritance. And I'm like, no, you know, it's like, you know, and it's the worst kind too, because it was like when Scott Pilgrim, you know, versus the world, ended up, you know, the guy who was vegan. You know, that was my stock market. No, I was like, no, and I was like, oh, my account's limp, more limpy. And if I just stayed in it like one more second, it would have been, oh, I'm back up. You know, but it's like the nuances of new, and being like the fresh fish in the pond. You're like, hey, I'm your new friend. Hey, I'm your new friend. And people are just like, You know, you always run into the older couple, and they're like, oh, hi, and welcome. Everything's good here. Just watch out for the shark that happens to be following us right now. And then you look behind them, and it's like literally the shark is the full background. So you're like, where is the shark? I'm going to just go behind. Oh. So I should head this way. If you want to. That's how you know they're grandparents. They give you choices. Now, dear, you just do the best you can. We're going this way. Yep. Deer, stay out of his tooth. They're so big. I forget. Come out, deer. And then, like, you know, as the shark passes by behind them, he's like, wink, back for you. And you're like, this is not a nice tank. This is not. And why are you so happy? So you like skittle down and you find fish your size, and they're like, look at her. She's new. Hi, I'm new. We are a girl clique. You are new. Why don't you go find new friends? So, technically, it was a lot of that. And during COVID, there were new friends. And I just finally realized COVID makes you crazy. Like, everything is crazy. Like, you're just like, hey, I'm crazy. And you're just like, you're like actually suspicious of other people's kindness, and they're crazy. And you're so used to crazy in 2022 that your crazy is sometimes a yell. Like, sometimes I'm just yelling and shouting, and people are just like, oh, wow, COVID. Well, let's go get a milkshake. I'm like, well, she is right. Her milkshake does bring the boys to the, what is it? I don't know, park or bed. Is it a bench? I'm out of the demographic to know the full song, but I can look it up. I have Google. So, and yeah, I have to say my milkshake just brings more bees, so, and ants, and I just don't think it's a good idea to drink sweet drinks outside. So as I van dwell, I don't drink. We don't bring our sweet drinks outside. We leave that completionist here. So now that you know why I left that money and prestige and you know, fighting with a manual mower and rake, I think we can see that I am a little bit happier here. Not as much to clean, and I had a little bit of a deep cleaning because I thought I might show the van today, but I might do that in a separate video. Like to give background, then do separate video, quick video before it gets really hot. So I'm just gonna kind of that's my story. Sold the house, have an emergency fund now, paid off on my dad, and I'm trying to conquer the world with nothing. No, I'm not conquering the world. No, that's younger people. My job is not to conquer the world. It's to just stay in the fish pond as long as I can, knowing that I will one day have a shark going, she don't know it, she don't know it. I am here, and I'll just be like, and if you didn't get it, yes, that's the sharks and jets from West Side Story. So don't envy me. Don't buy jealous. So I went out. And what was that like? So the first 40 days I went to West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Virginia, parts of Maryland. I went to the Bay. I went to see boats. I went to see, I stayed on a houseboat. The first 3 days, I was out in the car, and I decided after 3 days to go into a hotel. So I went into a Marriott. I could not get the dog off the bed. He was so comfortable. I love the shower and the simplicity of life. It was great, I think if I hadn't had those 3 days, maybe 4, I think it would have made the glamping a little bit less glampable. And I was able to leave some of my stuff at a friend's house. From church, and I just remember I'm sorry, watching my dog sleep, because that's what moms do. So yeah, it was comfortable. It was very, very comfortable. I had to learn how to wash, so I used the adult disposable napkins that are washcloths, and any of the wet ones. If I can find them on sale, if I find them at the dollar store, I get them from the dollar store. If I find them on sale at the stores, I get them, and they are a godsend. I wanted to have a pop-up tent for my van, and you can sort of see it in the back because it's kind of on top. It's not very expensive. I didn't want to get the 2 compartment ones, one where you shower, one where you change. But I am, I wanted to get used to it. And here's what you have to get used to. If it's your bathroom and you're traveling, you have to pull it out really, really quickly. So getting there. So I'm going to just be honest with you. I'm a little bit older, not that old. And walking helps, but reading my body, and trying to get to the restroom on time beside my vehicle, or at stops or anything like that can be difficult. So, there's a fly in here. Let me open up the window, see if he'll come out. And what I've discovered is the all-important adults adult wear, so the Depends kind of branding, which keeps you safer as you grow older. Nobody tells you this, but sometimes you go over bumps. You are in traffic for a long time and you're not going to make it. You can't just, you can pull over, pull out your tent and do what you need to do, but sometimes the criticality doesn't work. So to keep things clean, they have become my new kind of normal. And then when I'm out and about, if I want to be out and about for a longer period of time, I simply I'm in, just regular underwear, whatever. I go to the laundromat at least. Right now, I'm gonna say I don't have that many clothes, so I have limited summer clothes. But in this area, our summer season is a spring to, I want to say it's a spring to fall. We have what we call an autumn summer, so it's hot around here, well into the fall until you hit October-ish, maybe towards the mid to end of October. Then you start seeing more rain, which brings forecasts of less heated afternoons, where you're going to definitely need a jacket, or you can be with a nice cool shirt. But I found that if I can get away with my whites and my creams, then I'm doing so much better. Or if I stick to white and cream and then add in a color here and there, it's a lot better for me. And then keeping everything breathable and of a certain kind of flavor. So I have tried to keep everything minimal. What I took from me from summer was Old Navy gear, mostly, and just tops that are feminine, easy to take off, easy to get into. Skirts are really the best for someone of for someone who might be going through that, because I can quickly get, in and out of a pretty tedious situation without having to wear my pants. And you shouldn't be embarrassed. It's the way things happen sometimes. And if you're going to have the issue, you might as well know how to resolve it. So that's the idea of it. I'm not trying to embarrass myself or anybody else, but seriously, if you know it's going to be an issue and you're not going to be able to do what you want to do, then go and get the Depends. Whether you're a woman or a man, they have them for both. And then while you're out, and if you don't make it in time, you at least have less of a mess to clean up. Now, I'm just going to leave it at that. So I wash up with the cloths. I have a shampoo that is it doesn't require rinsing. But what I do is I put the shampoo on, it lifts the dirt off the skin. That's what it does. And then I use the wipes and wipe myself down. I also use Dr. Bonner's when I'm feeling just a little bit not so good. And I also, in the summer, I try to do 2 wash-ups a day. So I think frequent washing of your underarm and the private, what they call the, you as a male, you would say groin. As a female, we would say pelvic. So pelvic to rear, that kind of washing is really important, but it's also important to cover up. So my cover up is to have some type of a Deep Woods Off spray, and to I also carry a lemongrass. Oh, this stuff is so good. It's a home protectant lemongrass scent, and it kills, repels, and prevents. So it's like a Wondercide protects your pack for the dog. And he's already up, so I'm just gonna spray him. But he also gets. We just stopped to get his canine flea and tick at. We just picked that up the other day. So we have 6 months because we're gonna be going on a field trip soon. So he got that, and he's not having any issues with it. He got a comb out, but he needs another comb out. And now he's looking for some mommy love. Up from the nap. Yeah. You want some water? I got a key. Water? Want some of that? Sit down. I'm gonna go to back. The back is all clean. Come on, if you want to. So he feels. Oh no, he just went back to sleep. Okay. Golden doodles. They know themselves. So yeah, he all right. And he's so small, so he's happy wherever I am. That's what it is. And you just have to trust that. And though he's non-shedding, I do pick up quite a bit of my hair. And so, my braid hair, he is not as bad as I am. We're kind of equal, because I have a fabric car. So, I would say we're about equal. And I'm going to show you that it doesn't matter. See this little piece? I'll open the window, and I'm going to try to push it that way and then close it real quickly. If I open the window all the way, it'll just come back in. So if you want to know the secret, did you pull some hair off your dog? Don't push the window all the way down. Just do a slight, because it has plenty of times I've been doing a video and I pushed it out with the window all the way down and it went right into my mouth. So, furball. Not necessary. So I do a wipe down of the dash at least every other day. I do the footy every day, and I put a garbage bag here. And I want to show you the makeshift garbage bag. We got that. That's it. So, I keep that under there because we've had breakfast. My trash is in the back. I've done a complete wash up with, like I said, I either use the cloths, or and you can use any cloth, just whatever one you want. I like the Walgreens. It's a thicker, wider towel, but most of the time, any one you want to use. I use a trash bag. I use a bucket. This is the same method many of the other land dwellers use. It's quick, it's easy, it does the job, and then I fold over the bag, and that's 1 and 2, and I fold over the bag and try not, because it's me, and that's part of me. I fold over the bag. I have my wipes. There's a pocket there's a string so you can hold clothes or whatever you need, and there are little lassels so they can help push you up, so you don't need like a bar. The Wolfwise has that, so it helps you pick yourself back up. It's crazy. Isn't that crazy? Like they thought of me and mine. And it is a Wolf-Wise tent. I'm not affiliated with them, but great pop-up tent. So fast, and it's just a matter of just shaking it out from the middle and then setting it down. Once you're down, you grab the bucket with the bag in it, and you can go and do whatever you want. It pops up quickly, comes down quickly. And I would say I don't take very much time on my showers. I try to get everything I can that's surface, and it works well. It is, I think sometimes I'm trying to cut down on how many wipes I use, but at this point in time, it's fairly good to say it's usually 1 or 2 per leg and foot, 3 on the feet. I mean, 3 with the feet. This area, I don't even worry about it as long as it's clean. Whatever it takes, but usually it's around 3. It's usually around 3. The back 3, and then arms, the 2 arms, and the underpits. That's another 2. So it's a little bit more now. I think it'll ease up when. So at least, definitely at least 10. So, you know, from the get-go. And so it's a lot right now. So I'd like to pan it down to at least just 5 per wash, meaning head and face, arm and armpit, and then leg, foot, and then 2 here. I guess that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe 6, and I think that 6 or 7. If I can get down to 6 or 7. And I'm definitely going to try to see if I can go to Costco and see if they have a bigger packet. I just don't want to pay too much money for it. And I've been getting mine on sale, and they've been an incredible price. So, but I still want to keep the amount down. So we're going to see what we can do about lathering up 1 and then rinsing off with 1 and seeing how that works. Like, even if it's going to be really gross by the time it's rinsed off, and just seeing how far I get with that method. Because I think we can get it down to 1 or 2 or 3. I don't feel comfortable with the level it's at now, but like I said, I'm just starting out, so who knows, what's going to happen from there. There's some light traffic, things are picking up. I'm going to say the wipe down of the truck is important, especially because when you're at a rest stop, you might take your shoes off. I'm wearing sandals, I take my shoes off, and I don't want like crumbly rocks things from when I bring them in from the outside. So my space gets cleaned down here about twice a day. I usually put the garbage bag there, and that takes any of the things that we've eaten for like dinner or lunch, and I put them in that pail. My back tent goes there, my set of clothes to go to do the next thing I'm going to do, and when I change next, that's what I'm going to have. So I have about maybe give or take I have 3 shorts, 2 pairs of pants,